Well, hello everybody. I know I've been missing in action for a couple of weeks, but sometimes you have to pull back, regroup, and everything because what you do can be a little overwhelming at times, and it's all good. Welcome to A Woman's Heart, where we uplift, motivate, encourage, and empower women. Make sure you follow us on all our social media outlets. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, TikTok. Subscribe to the social media outlet Just for Women, toawomansheart.org. Check out the t-shirts that speaks to the heart of a woman, toawomansheart.store, and get your Juneteenth t-shirts on toawomansheart.store. And check out the YouTube channel and check out the website. And I thank you for tuning in, whether you listen now or you tune in later. Well, I titled this, What Is It? And the reason I titled it, What Is It? Because I've had conversations, been watching reality TV, and you see a lot of things when it comes down to women. And somewhere down the line, we as women, not saying all women, we have lost something. We're looking for love in all the wrong places. We're going into relationships without placing our expectations on the table. We're in long-term relationships without going anywhere. And one of the shows that I was watching that really triggered me is Couples Retreat, and they did a little exercise, and AJ asked the guy, did he love the woman? Now they've been together for a while, and he said no. And so I'm sitting there saying, I saw her heart break. I saw the tears rise up in her eyes. But then the question I asked, there are signs in a relationship, when we're in a relationship uh, with someone. But sometimes we as women, we choose to ignore the signs. And then we have to ask ourselves the reasons why. I've been in relationships, and there's just certain things that I'm just not going to settle for. I'm not. If we're going to be in a relationship, it's a two-way street. It takes two people to make the relationship. You can't be in the relationship by yourself. It's a two-way street. I'm never going to love somebody in the relationship more than I love myself. And I hope that makes sense. Um, you can love somebody, but if you're doing all the loving and they're doing all the liking and lusting, is that really a relationship? Because that's the question you have to ask yourself. We as women, we give so much of ourselves when it comes down to a relationship and being in a relationship with someone. We settle for less than what we are truly worth. And somewhere down the line, some of us have lost the idea that we are a queen and that we do deserve the best. Now, is relationships going to be perfect? No, no relationship is perfect. Family relationship, friendship relationship, no relationship is perfect. And even in relationships, when they're fresh and new, you're still learning about this individual. But you as a woman should have in your mind your expectations of what you will and will not accept, what you're expecting after the relationship. Do you expect after 2 years that we're going to be engaged going into marriage? Or do you expect to be a long lifetime girlfriend and provide and putting out babies and no commitment? That these are some of the things I don't think that we look at. And then we get into these long-term relationships, we have these babies for these men, the relationship don't work, they walk away, you're stuck with the child, they don't want to support the child, and then they meet another woman down the line, and instantly 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, and some even 30 days, and they have decided, okay, I want to marry her, I want to settle down with her, I want to buy a house with her, and he does everything, he actually treats her like a queen. And so now you're sitting at home saying to yourself, what is it within me that he didn't do this for me? Well, you didn't require anything. You didn't require anything. You did not require anything. And men are only going to do what you allow them to do. If he starts disrespecting you coming out the gate, then you know that's going to be his MO going through the relationship. He's not going to respect you. If he begin to doing a whole bunch of lying to you, then pretty much he's going to do that out the gate. Now, can they change? Anybody can change, only if they want to. But what we have to realize, we can't make anybody be something that they're not ready to be. Bottom line, we have to know what we're willing to deal with, as I said earlier, and what we're not. Babies, again, is not the glue that holds the relationship together. So you'll get pregnant, you'll have the child, you think it'll fix the relationship. It doesn't. He still walks away. Men walk away from marriages with women with children. So what makes you think that the child is actually the glue to hold the relationship? Now you're mad at the child, talking about the child, you like, you're no good daddy, and you're putting all of your anger, your frustration, your irritation on the child when the child is innocent. The relationship was between two adults. Children does not fix it. Children does not bond the relationship together at all. And that's something we have to think about. And I think in some reality TV, which is fantasy land, some of it, but some of it is actual reality. Some of us think sex is everything. Sex is the fixer. Sex is the motivator, but sex only works during the action. Then after the sex is over, then what you got left after relationship? And you got to think, when a man comes up to you in a fresh relationship and he tells you, well, I'm not going to date you unless we're going to have sex. No. So you agree to that, and you think that's going to be a healthy relationship, because he could be having sex with you and having sex with somebody else. What are your standards? What are your requirements? And then I ask this question all the time. I used to tell my ex son's father, let's put the sex on the side, put it in the closet, close the door, and leave it there. Now what do we have left? What? Because we think sex is the beginning, the middle, and the end, and it's not. It's not. Because you can have an argument, you can have sex, you can be okay doing the sex, and then you still go back and be mad after the sex is over with. So what does sex really do for the relationship for you? It doesn't do a lot. It doesn't. Where is our standards? Where is our boundaries? Where is our do's? Where is our don'ts? Where is what we will accept? Where is what we won't accept? And me and my family members, we had this conversation about social media some months ago. And they was like, it's not a big deal that your partner does not post you. But to me, it is a big deal, because I can own you on my page and you can't own me on yours. I can put on my page, I'm in a relationship, and you put on your page, you still single. There is no evidence nowhere that I exist. Listen to this. Anytime whether man or woman is in a relationship and they say they love you, love is not just words. They are followed by actions. And if that person cannot only just tell you they love you, but they can show you that they love you, that's totally different. I don't want you to tell, you can feed me I love you lines all day long, but does that really mean that you love me? It really doesn't. And if I'm in a relationship and we're living together and two incomes coming in, but you're out doing what you want to do, I'm at home stressing and straining myself trying to figure out financial situation. I open a refrigerator door and the shelves are empty, and you out here living your best life, and I supposed to be your woman. There is something wrong with that picture, or is something wrong with me, because now to me you're settling. You're settling. And here is something else what we need to understand. What these men do to you, believe me, they will not want any man that he's representing himself to be to do it to their sister, their mother, their auntie, any female in their family. They will instantly tell them that's unacceptable. He needs to treat you better than that. He needs to do you better than that. So why do we allow him to do the things that he do to us? And if you have one child or multiple children, do you know you're setting the tone? You're teaching them the wrong way of love. You're teaching them that you're going to sit and accept things that's unacceptable. That just doesn't make sense to me. So we're settling in a sense, and we're giving away our requirements and our expectations to settle for a relationship that potentially probably won't go nowhere. You've been dating this person and they talk about they want to have a family and all this stuff, but there's no evidence that it's going that way. And I say, after 2 years of being with somebody and they don't make a little smidget of mention about elevating to something else, to me, pretty much they're not, they're content with the way it is, and you are content too. You don't need nobody to take care of you. You don't. But if you're going to be in a relationship, you're going to provide the perks and the benefits. You're going to cook for this person. You're going to sleep with this person. You're going to do everything with this person. You're going to give everything you have to give in this relationship, and you get so little in return. Then you have to ask the question, where's the plus? Where's the number on this side, the number on this side that equals, balance out on both sides, and it equals up to something. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can have 2 plus 2 equal 4. That's balance. But you can have 3 plus 1 equal 4. That's not balance. So you the 3 and he the 1. So you're giving 3 times the effort and he giving 1 times the effort. And you talking about, oh, that's my bae. That's my boo. He loves me. He this, he that. Then you need to stand in the mirror and check yourself. Because something is definitely wrong with that picture, and something is wrong with you if you think that is love. Because in a sense, it's not. They would treat you like a queen. Men don't take that long to figure out what they want. They don't. They can figure out what kind of car they want, what kind of engine, what kind of dashboard, the tires, what kind of windows, and everything. Just like that. So you mean to tell me he can't figure out what he wants just like that? Because he can. And the reason he don't make the effort to do anything, you don't require him to do anything. Do a little research. Ask some questions about women who just settled, sat in the back in the quiet, and just went on, had baby after baby, and stayed with this man. He did what he wanted to do. You in the house trying to take care of the kids, trying to make sure you get the groceries, trying to clean the house, taking care of everything. And he's doing the bare minimum. Just for the sake of having a man, is it really worth it? It's not. When are we going to realize we're sacrificing ourselves? We're sacrificing our happiness. We're sacrificing our life being stolen. So while you hold on to this knucklehead, the good man is down the road. You can't get to him because you still hold on to this knucklehead. And some of us need to stay out of relationship for a while so we can regroup, regenerate, decompress, and get ourselves back. But a lot of us get out of relationship and jump into another because we have the fear of being alone. There's nothing wrong with being alone. Baby, I'm 61 years old. I've been alone, been by myself for a minute, and I prefer to be by myself with peace of mind to be in a relationship with a knucklehead, and the relationship ain't going nowhere. You expecting me to do everything in a relationship, and then you expect me to give you sexual privileges too. No, that's not happening. You don't meet in the middle. We're not working this thing together. You don't get no perks and privileges at all. That's not how that works. And it breaks my heart to see that, and a lot of us, because we have been in these circumstances, situation, our self-esteem, our confidence have been affected. And then when we have people to tell us what we potentially know, and we don't want to address what we know, and people see it, then some of us are sensitive when our feelings, when it's addressed. Some of us get angry when it's mentioned to us. But the fact is, if somebody love you enough to want to see you do better and to have better, you need to at least take heed to it. Yeah, would it hurt? Yeah, would it sting? Is something that you want to hear? No, but it's factual. It's factual. It's factual. When are you going to step up to the plate and know that your wants and desires is just as important? I'm not sleeping with nobody. Understand when I say I'm not sleeping with nobody, giving them all the perks and the privileges, giving them key to the safe deposit box, and he can unlock it when he feel like it, and he live his best life the way he want to live it, and then incorporate me when he feel like he want to incorporate me. No. What are we doing in this relationship? Where's the relationship going? Where's marriages in this equation? Where is we going to purchase a house in this equation? How are we going to get our finances together in this equation? You should not be struggling if he loves you, and not saying that he's obligated to do, and not saying that you should have to ask. But if he loves you, he will make sure that your needs are being met. You mean his needs, his sexual needs. Every time he said, come on, baby, you mean his sexual needs. And then if you are an individual who ignore your kids and pay more attention to a man, there's something wrong with you. Your kids come first. They need you. Don't be locked up, laid up with no man and ignore your child. And then talking about, oh, I'm a good mother. No, you're slacking in those areas, because a good mother knows her role. She knows her role. She knows what's important in her life. And then y'all let these men come in and they just run your household, drive your car, you give them your credit card information, you give them access to your bank accounts and all this stuff. And it's crazy to me. They haven't earned anything. They're not your husband. They are your boyfriend. So why do we feel, as some of us women, to give these men these perks and privileges and you don't have no paperwork? Y'all not married. So why would I give you access to my bank account? We're not married. Why should I give you those perks and those privileges? I know we live in new times, but some old things work today. Did some of this newfangled stuff y'all doing? We got single parents all over these 50 states, because we look at what's on TV and we think it's okay to just lay up with whoever we lay up with and have baby after baby after baby after baby. Babies coming here with your last name, and men are denying the babies, and mothers are stuck with raising the babies, and we don't see nothing wrong with that picture. We having babies, as I said earlier, thinking we can hold the man in relationship. It's going to fix, it's going to tie him down. It's not going to tie him down. He didn't have no intentions to stay from the get-go. When are we going to wake up? And when you walk around looking a mess, your head ain't done, your fingernails ain't done, your feet ain't done, you just ain't got no money to do nothing, and you still laying with this man, and he breathing in your face every night when you go to bed, and he breathing in your face and you wake up and you looking all shabby and stuff, and he don't see that you need to have some money to get your hair, your nails, and your feet done. There's something wrong with that picture. So you have to ask yourself the question, is he a man or is he a boy? That's the question you have to ask. Then here's something else that some ladies are doing. You date these men and they decide they want to move to another state. You pack your kids up, you pack your stuff up, you don't know nobody over there, you ain't did no research, and you follow this man to his next destination. And I want to know why. Why? Did he make some promises to you that when you got over there, y'all was going to get married? Did you get married before you left? What is it within us that we don't really recognize our worth and our value as a woman? As a woman, what is it? Because I'm trying to figure it out. Because I will drop you like a hot potato. I will throw you back like they throw fishes back in the water when they catch them on the line. Some things you don't need to hold on to. You just don't. When you're stressed and strained all the time and y'all living together and you stress, And you talking about you don't understand. No, you don't understand. Because again, I'm not landing with nobody. I'm not sleeping with nobody and being stressed. We both gonna be stressed trying to figure this thing out. Relationship is not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. And if he loves you like he say he does, he will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 jobs to make sure you are happy. That's what kings do for their queens. And you should expect no less. Let's take a look at Steve Harvey. Been married 3 times, right? Marjorie gave him some ground rules. This need to happen by a certain time. And right now he busts his butt to make sure she's happy. You understand what I'm saying? But if we don't have no expectations, we don't have no requirements, guess what? Nothing's going to happen. I'm not going along with nobody for 2 years or past 2 years and talk about we just gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend and this relationship ain't going no further. No, then you need to exit the premises. Because if I'm gonna do bad, I'm gonna do bad by myself. I don't need your help to struggle. I'm good at that by myself. I'm good at that. And stop following these men everywhere they go and stop laying on every word that they say. Stop it. Because you know what they do? They find these women as weak. They find these women that say they strong, but they're not. And they put their finger up their nose and they do this. They lead you around and you follow right along. When you going to step and be the woman that God intended you to be? When you going to stand on your own 2 feet? When? No man is that important. No man, except for God. And these men is not God. And whether you realize it or not, they are supposed to be your protector, your provider. The design is Jesus, then man. Everything else fall below that. And if he's not following the guidelines of God, he's already out of order, and so is you. Now, y'all shacking and living together all these years and no marriage, what is wrong with that picture? Now, say 3 years, you get the 3-year mark, and you ain't required, you ain't sat down and said, what we doing with this relationship? You don't ask, he ain't answering, because he figure like you okay. So if you content, he content too. Because you ain't got no expectations. You ain't got no requirement. None whatsoever. So he's going to go along with the way it is. And let me tell you something. When a man give his word, it should be his bond. Like money in the bank. It is. And if he can't treat you with the respect that you deserve and make sure that you are okay in every aspect, then that's a problem. There's a situation that you may need to look at. And again, your children, your daughters, and your sons are looking at this. Are looking at it. You laying up with somebody and there's no marriage. He coming in not like a revolving door. And your daughter is thinking that's love, and that's not love. It's not love. And it's not a good example to set before your children. This is why some of these kids are so messed up. They confuse what it means about love, like, and lust. And maybe you need to sit down and explain to them. But as we get older, we should get better. We should want better for ourselves. When you sit down and take a look at your life, you should have better expectation and you should want a better quality of life. Nope. Head of the household. Mm-mm. And y'all struggling like that. You're going backwards instead of going forward. That's something you need to take a look at. Very much so. I know beginnings are rough, but if you've been in this relationship with this person for a long time and y'all still at the same place y'all started at the beginning of the road, something wrong with this picture. Something wrong with this picture. Babe, boo, no. Babe, boo, what we doing? Again, what we doing? What do you want out this relationship? Where's the relationship going? I need some help around here. We need some grocery money. I need to get my hair done. I need this. And if he really love you, like I said, you don't have to ask. He will see that you need and make sure that you okay. So he walk around here looking better than you. Something wrong with that picture. Something wrong with that picture. And something wrong with that picture with any mother who dresses her man better than she dresses her kids. Something wrong with that picture. Let me tell you what else is wrong. Um, Questioning your children about different things. Something wrong with that picture. Something wrong with that picture. And why would you allow somebody who's just coming into the picture to interrogate your kids? No. You are a protector of your children. And whether you realize it or not, God sees and God knows. And He's particular about them babies. He's giving you your children to steward over them. And instead, you allow others to steward over them. You allow men to come in that you just met, misuse and abuse your kids. And then you don't believe nothing that they say. You leave your kids with men that you really don't know. You really don't know. And then they grow up later in life and they tell you that they was violated by the very man that you thought was okay. Why is that? And I'm going to say this because I say this all the time. I've said this to a couple of women. When you decide to have a baby by a man and you know the man that you having the baby by ain't as good as you thought he was, why would you want to have a baby in the get-go? That's the first thing. Because even after the baby is born, he's not going to change. Secondly, once you decide to bring that baby in this world, your life is no longer your life. You can no longer live a single life, do everything and be in everything with everybody when you got children. It doesn't work that way. That's your child. You decide to bring that child in the world, it's your child. So you can't be at everybody's party. You can't go on everybody's trip. You can't do that. Why? Because you have a child. The child's needs supersedes yours. The child should be kept up. You could be ragged as hell, as long as the child is kept up and clean. And then you can't expect people to do everything for your child because you decided to bring a baby in the world. It's not everybody else's responsibility, it's yours. And then you feel a certain way when somebody questions your motherhood. You feel a certain way. You get a little defensive. But think about it. You sit down and think about it. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses and you got a baby at home. When I was pregnant with my son, I stayed with my baby. My baby was premature, 1 pound, 12 ounces. I could no longer do the things that I wanted to do because my son was priority. And I was never going to let anybody come in over my child and do anything to my child. My job is to protect my child, make sure that his needs were met in all areas of his life. Make sure he was fed, make sure he was clothed, make sure he was loved, make sure I gave him attention. That's what mothers do. So if you are one of those women who feel like, you can still live your best life and be a mother, no, you can't. Because something's going to suffer. And that child is going to grow up with some abandonment issues and some anger. And then you wonder why they become rebellious when they get older. Kids see, they can feel they're not as stupid as we make them to be. They're not. They feel all that stuff. They see what you're doing. When you claim like you love and the kids talk about, I'm hungry. And you tell me, no, you just ate. Well, you could have just ate an hour ago. And if the kids say home, you tell me you just ate, but you just ate an hour ago and you eating again. Kids' metabolism are high. They're very high. If you're not going to take care of them, if you're not going to do them right, if you're not going to be the best parent you can be, don't have the children. And I am so upset that they are really fighting over Roe versus Wade. Because like I said before, I prefer any woman to get rid of the child than bring it here and beat it to death. That's what I prefer. Now, you all can look at it any kind of way you want to. Beat it to death, let the boyfriend beat it to death, or whatever. Somebody violated, they leave it in the house unattended to. They have the baby and throw it in a shoebox and suffocate it, or they put it in the garbage bag and dump it in the garbage can. There are women out here who would love to have babies and can't. And some of us have them and we just don't appreciate the blessing that God has given us. And I can't understand for the life of me why. We really need to look long and hard at ourselves, women. This world and these men are the way they are because some of us have ruined them. Even the mothers have ruined some of these men. And we go along with what they feed us, like what they say is law. If I say do this, you say okay, then you try to keep up with him. You can't keep up with him because what he wants to do, he's going to do, irregardless. And if he really loves you, he's going to respect you and he's going to honor you. And he's definitely going to acknowledge you. I'm not giving, again, more to a man than he gives to me. See, it needs to be an equal trade-off. We give to each other. We support each other. We uplift each other. We're striving to reach our goals together. Can't be one-sided. Not whatsoever. And if that's happening with you, something is wrong with that picture. You need to do a reevaluation of your relationship because you are getting shortchanged. And then you have to ask yourself the question, what is it about me that I allow this to happen? I allow this to be. I can't speak up for myself. I don't have no expectations. I don't have no requirement. What is it about me? I can recycling the same crazy stuff over and over again. What is it about me that I am not elevating myself to the next level? What is it about me that I'm still stuck? And maybe some of it is because you're not doing the way God designed it to be. You're out of the will of God. Bottom line. Let's not sugarcoat it. You're hard-headed. You don't listen. You think that you are really being a good mother. You may be a good mother in a sense in some areas, but are you really being a good mother? Because neglect is ignoring your child. Your child come home from school, you disappear downstairs in the lower level in the bedroom, upstairs in the bedroom, whatever, and you feed the child and push him in the room in front of the TV and close the door. And then you go in there, you lay with your boyfriend and forget your child, your children. You don't know what they doing. And then when they're in the room tearing up your house, your basement, your upstairs, or things in the living room, you get mad. Well, you so busy focused on this man. The man has taken your thoughts. The man has consumed your time. The child needs your time more than the man. If he can't understand that, then you don't need that type of man. Because I guarantee you, if he had a kid by you, if it's his kid and he still allows, shame on him. But if it's not his kid and it happens and he had a kid by you, he ain't gonna allow that to happen. Not at all. We create the monsters in some of these men. We create the monsters in some of these men. And we should be the ones that break it. Stop giving up your cookies so freely and get nothing in return. You need to have some expectations. You need to have some requirements. And if he can't own you as the woman that you're supposed to be to him, then you need to look at that relationship again. Stop investing in that man and don't invest in yourself and your children. It's backwards. He's supposed to be the protector and the provider. You're not supposed to be the protector and the provider. That's not the way that go. Not at all. See, they can make their mouth say anything. But we have to understand action speak way louder than words. And what actions will you be requiring? So ask yourself, what is it about me that I allow this to be? You need to ask yourself that question. And then you need to look at that relationship and evaluate. You say you know, you say you understand, you say you see. Do you really? Because clearly you don't. You still in the same cycle you was in last month, 6 months ago, a year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and you ain't elevated to nowhere different. You're still struggling. You're still frustrated, irritated, aggravated because you're in a relationship and it seems like you're doing everything by yourself. Well, hell, if you're going to do everything by yourself, you might as well be by yourself. Sex don't pay the light bill or the gas bill. It don't put gas in your car, don't fill the refrigerator with food. It don't. And then stop expecting others to come in and rescue you. You're a grown individual. You need to figure that thing out. That's what adulthood is about. It is. It's a tough life out here. It really is. When my son was living, I figured it out for myself. I made sure he was taken care of by any means necessary. And I did not allow any man to come along and dictate differently. And the one guy I dated, I called him. I say, look, I need some Pampers for my son. How long for you be here? He said, I'll be there about an hour. Hour passed, 2 hour passed, 3 hour passed. He finally showed up 3.5 hours later. I called you and said, I need some Pampers for my baby. You told me you'd be there in an hour. Soon as he hit the door, I slapped the hell out of him. And I know violence is not the thing, but it pissed me off that when I asked you something, that I need something on my bed. I slapped so hard, slapped to the other side of the bed between the walls. I surely did. Now, I can deal with stuff. When it come down to my kid, ain't nobody on this earth going to supersede my child. Ain't nobody on this earth going to talk to my child any kind of way. Ain't nobody on this earth is going to question my child. Ain't nobody on this earth is not going to feed my child. And I'm definitely not going to let nobody on this earth violate my child. Understand me when I say that's something that I had birthed. And if you can't follow those rules, then we can't be together. Because I'm not going to allow you to hurt my child. Period. And I'm not going to settle for less than when it comes down to my child. At all. And I mean that. And I meant that. Until he passed on. And it didn't happen. Nobody superseded my son. Nobody. His needs were met. Did I have it all the time? Of course not. But did I look for other people to help me out? No, I figured it out for myself. I figured it out for myself. But whoever I dated, if I needed something, I expected you to bring it to me. I expected you to meet the need because I didn't ask often. And the few times that I did, I expect you to do what I asked you to do. Period. You wanted to lay and play. You're not laying and playing for free. That's not how that works. It's not. And not saying that you a hooker or a whore or anything, but no, there's some perks and some privileges that come along with that. And I'm not giving it up freely. And I don't give a flying fuck what you say about if you don't give me no sex. And then guess what? There's the door. The same way you came in, the same way you can walk your happy bag out of it. Because you're going to respect me. I require that. And so I'm saying again before I close, men only do what you allow them to. So what is it that you haven't progressed in your relationship? What is it that you're still struggling, strapped, stressed, and strained? What is it? If he's there with you, either he's coming over or he's living with you, what is it? What are you requiring out this relationship? And if you've been in it for a long time, why is there no marriage thing coming along down the line? What is it that you can own him and he can't own you? What is it that you feel like you have to keep up with your fiance or your boyfriend or whatever he may be? What is it you feel like you have to keep up with? What is it that you feel like you have to be in every airspace that he's in and ignore your kids? What is it? What is it? What is it about you? Where's your self-esteem? Where's your confidence? Put your big girl panties on and get your life in right and get your business in order. Because guess what? You lean and depend on him and he be setting up a little nest egg somewhere and slowly trying to make his exit. And you going when he walk out the door, you're gonna be something like not a fool, but a damn fool. Bottom line. Ain't no sense of sugarcoating it. It is what it is. And it's time that we have these harsh conversations because they're needed. They're so needed. They're so needed. We give up too much of ourselves to pacify a supposedly man when he's still a boy growing. He hasn't elevated himself to that level yet because real men stand up to the plate. They don't sugarcoat, they don't lie, and they own up to their wrong and their shortcomings, their shortfalls. They own up to that and they recognize what they have at home and they make sure that home is taken care of. So you can say you take care of home, but actually, action means shows whether you take care of home or not. Because I'm telling you, what he's doing to you, he ain't gonna allow it to happen to no female in his family. So that's something you need to think about. All right? What is it, ladies? What is it? I'm not saying all women, because some of us women know our boundaries, know we will not accept. But some of y'all, knuckleheads, sorry to say, y'all in that slow boat for real. And y'all need to get y'all life in order. Life is too short for this foolish and to settle for less than what you're worth. Know your value. Know your worth. That's so important. And know that your child is watching and you're setting the tone of what she will and will not accept. And stop giving up your cookies so doggone freely to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that come along and say you cute. Hell, there's a bus stop on every corner. You realize that? Because what don't work on one will work on somebody eventually. But when we gonna break the cycle and make these men work for some stuff? When are we gonna break the cycle? When? All right. Y'all think about what I said. Let me know your thought process. Leave me some comments, either in the live or the replay. Leave me some comments because I'm inquiring minds want to know. We need to set some boundaries. And if you ain't did it, you need to start doing it today. You need to lay your expectations on the table and your requirements. If your relationship is 2 years, you need to find out where you're going for next year. And it should not be where you was in the first year. Bottom line, period. That's it. That's all. So ask yourself the question, what is it? Make sure you follow us on all our social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, TikTok. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out the website, toawomansheart.com. Sign up for the social media outlet for women, toawomansheart.org. Check out the t-shirts, Juneteenth t-shirts. Get your Juneteenth t-shirts on toawomansheart.store. I ask for your support. I ask that you share. And I ask that you help us build this sisterhood together. It's not about me. It's about us. And you may think it's small, but you never know who's going to tap into this platform. You just don't. All right. So until we talk again, take care.